Hello everyone, myself Ankita from Department of IT, AKGEC. Today I am going to discuss the problem solving methods from Unit 2, the first topic of Unit 2. Now, the goal of AI is to solve every problem of the world. So we can say the agents of AI are problem solving agents. Now these agents try to solve a problem and hence maximize their performance measure. Achieving this is simplified if the agent can adopt a goal and aims at satisfying it. Now, when an agent and problem-solving agent or an AI agent tries to solve a problem, it first tries to devise an algorithm for it. Now, that algorithm will require an input and an output. Now, this output is called as goal. So, the problem solving agent is a goal based agent. So, we can say it's a goal based agent. Now, when it is devising an algorithm, it will also define what is the input and what is the output. Now, how we are representing this input and output in our AI environment? That is, we represent it in the form of a state. All information about the environment that is relevant to make a decision for the task at hand is known as state. So, the state is just an environment state which have all the information that is relevant to our problem solving. These problem solving agents use atomic representation of the state, right? So, what do you mean by atomic representation? Means the state of the world are considered as whole with no internal structure visible to the problem solving. So, when we are defining a state in AI, so we are saying that this state is a atomic representation. So atomic representation means we are considering a state as a black box. So if we have two states, we are able to identify that these two states are different. But how are they different? We don't know that. So we can say in the problem solving agents use atomic representations of the state, right? Next is example. So we will try to understand this concept with the help of an example. Now, suppose we have a problem that we have an agent who wants to enjoy a touring holiday in Romania. So, Romania is a country in the East, in Europe. So, an agent wants to tour a country called Romania. So, what will be his performance measure as an agent? He will want to improve its Romanian language and also he want to explore different sites. So, we can say the initial state of that agent is, suppose, in the city of Arad, Romania. So, currently the agent is in city of Arad, Romania. Now, suppose the agent has, so this is, you can say this is your initial state. Okay. Now, the agent has a non-refundable ticket to fly out of the Bucharest the following day. In that case, it makes sense for the agent to adopt the goal of getting to Bucharest. Now, when an agent is trying to solve a problem of touring in Romania, so what we have a condition that he has to fly out of Bucharest the next day. So if we are considering this as a goal, so it will help us to devise his itinerary. So what all places he should go so that he can improve, he can achieve his performance measure as well as he can reach the destination at time, that is to Bucharest on time. So this is your goal. So if we are considering this fly out of Bucharest and Bucharest as a goal state, so what we are doing? We are trying to organize our behavior. Now, goal helps to organize a behavior by limiting the objective that the agent is trying to achieve and the action it needs to consider. So for example, the agent is in Arad, Romania. Okay, so there might be various routes emerging from Arad. So which route he should consider? It will depend on his destination, that is your Bucharest. So what happens? We are organizing the behavior of your agent by limiting the objective. So if suppose there are 3 roads from Arad, so he will limit he will only move to one node which will confirm that he can reach the destination node or the goal node as Bucharest on time. Okay. So goal formulation based on the current situation and the agent performance is the first step of problem solving. So whenever we are trying to solve a problem, we first try to define the goal, what the output do we want, right? So goal formulation is very important step. Next step is your problem formulation. So once we have decided what is the goal, now we will try to define the problem. Now this defining a problem, is that term is known as problem formulation. The process of deciding what actions and states to consider given a goal. So now we have a goal. Now to satisfy that goal, we have to perform some actions. And when we perform that action, we will reach to a new state. So what actions we need to consider and what state we will reaching after applying those actions is all come in your problem formulations. So before it can do this, it need to decide what sort of action and states it want to perform. So let us assume that agent will consider action at the level of driving from one major town to the another town. So suppose the agent is in Arad. So he will consider those actions that will take him to some another town. So it will consider only those towns, and those towns will form the states. So these are the possible actions and states. So let us see this is the example. Okay. So suppose currently we can say the agent is in Arad. Okay. Now he has to reach Bucharest. This is your initial state. And this is your goal state. Okay. So we have formulated a goal. Now we are formulating the problem. Now what are the possible actions from the? I have told you that when we are formulating a problem, we took care of two things. First is what are the actions that we want to perform and what are the states. So we can see these all are the states, right? These all are the towns in the Romania city. So these are the we can say states of that problem. And what are the possible actions? Actions are from Arad, the person can go to Zarind or that agent, or he can go to Sibiu, or he can go to Timisoara. So there are three routes that is emerging from Arad. So these are the possible action that the agent will choose. Second thing is, what are assumptions? We are assuming that environment is observable. Now observable environment means that any state that we are at, we are able to view all the relevant aspect of it. Those aspects that are relevant to our problem, we are able to see that. That means observable environment. Discrete means there are limited number of these states. Known, we know the map of the Romania state. Deterministic means when we perform an action on a state, we will definitely know what will be the outcome. So what is the solution of this problem? Now we have formulated a problem, then we have to find a solution. Solution to any problem is a fixed sequence of actions. So what action do we perform? So based on that, we'll get a solution. For example, if I have reached to Bucharest, so whether I have to move to Zarind or Sibiu or Timisoara, if you select Sibiu, so this will be your solutions. From Sibiu to Râmnișoara to Pitești to Bucharest. So this will be your solution space. So how we'll decide a solution will depend on the various search algorithms that we'll study later. First, we are trying to understand how we are formulating a problem or how we are defining the problem. Now, problem can be defined formally by 5 components. The first one is your initial state. Initial state is that from where the agent starts. So, from where your problem is starting, this is your initial state. Now, for example, in our example that we are studying over here is that our agent is in Arad. So this is your initial state. Next, what actions? What actions that agent can perform from a state? That is, what are the possible actions? So we can say all the possible actions are he can go to Sibiu, he can go to Timisoara, and he can go to Zarind. So this is your possible actions. So he can go to Timisoara, Zarind, or Sibiu. These are your possible actions. What is the transition model? Transition model is the result of what the action has been performed. So whatever action you perform, what is the result of that action is depicted by your transition model. So our depiction of what action does, it is specified by function result. Okay. So this is a tuple. Here, this is your state on which we are present, and what action it to be performed, that is depicted by A. So for example, we are currently on Arad state and we want to perform an action to go to Zarind. Then what will be the resultant of this state? That we will be in the Zarind. Next is your goal test. Now, goal test is very much important. It helps us to identify whether we have reached a goal or not. So, goal test determines whether a given state is goal state or not. So, here what is a goal test? So, whenever we are searching in our search space, we in our problem space, we are checking our goal test, whether we have reached the goal or not. So, this is your goal. That is your if I am present in Bucharest or not. What is a path cost? A path cost function that assigns a numeric cost to each path is known as your path cost. The problem solving agent chooses a cost function that reflects his own performance measure. So, path cost will obviously reflects your own performance measure. Now, with all these elements, we are defining the problem. So, what are those elements that we have discussed so far? That is initial state and what are the possible actions? What are the possible result of those actions, which is known as your transition model. So, and goal test and path cost, these two, right? These, all of them together will be your input to your algorithm. So, remember we have discussed that these AI agents try to solve a problem, and this problem is solved by devising an algorithm. An algorithm needs an input and needs an output. So, what is your output? Output is your goal. What is the input? Input is your all these functions. That's initial state, actions, transition, goal test function, which will check whether we have reached the goal or not, and the path cost. So, and now once we have defined a problem, what is the solution to the problem? Solution is an action sequence that lead from the initial state to the goal state. So, what of all the possible actions we have, which action do we have to choose so that we reach the goal? So, that is your solution to the problem. Now, state space. This is another term that we will be going to use again and again in this unit. State space is the set of all states reachable from the initial state by a sequence of actions. Suppose I am in at Arad, this is my initial state. So, what all states I can reach from this current state, this will form the state space. So, for this a problem that we are discussing. So, this is your state space. From Arad, I can go to Zarin, from Zarin, I can go. So, Ordia is also reachable from Arad. Fagares is also reachable from Arad. So, Ayasi is also reachable from Arad. So, all these nodes will together, all the states will together form of the state space. And the algorithms that try to find out the goal will search in this search space. So, what is the path? A path in the state space is a sequence of states connected by a sequence of actions. So, if I perform an action of going to Sibiu and then Râmnița, Vâlcea, Pitești and Bucharest. So, this is your path. A path can be a sequence of actions we perform, so will form a path, right? Now, we have discussed your problem formulation in Turing holiday. Now, another example is your 8 puzzle problem. Now, in 8 puzzle problem, what is your state? A state is a description. So, in 8 puzzle problem, we have these 8 tiles that are arranged, and these are arranged in random order. And this is your initial state. And what is the goal state? We have to arrange these in some chronological order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, we have to move this space up, down in such a way that we reach this goal state. So, what will be your initial state? Initial state is, this could be your initial state. Actions. For this initial state, we can have actions like if I move the blank tile to the left, I can move this blank tile to the right. I can move this blank tile to the bottom or up. So, these are the possible actions that we can perform. Left, right, up and down, right? Now, what is the transition model? Transition model will tell what will be the result of those actions. So, for example, if I move this blank tile to the left, what will be your result? If I move this blank tile to the left, the result will be 5. Now, this will be blank. 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, rest will remain same. So, this is your new state and this is your transition model. That after I applied a left action on this state, I get a new state, and this transition, this result is depicted by your transition model. Goal test will check whether the state matches the goal. So when I have generated this new node, I will check whether it matches my goal state or not. Path cost, so we can assume that the path cost is from one state to the other, we are reaching there in one path cost. This can be varies depending upon the problem. So here we are assuming it is unit. For every action that we take, it has same cost. Now once we have defined the problem, we have defined the search space, we have defined or the state space. Now we have to search for the solution. Now this is main we are going to study how we are going to search for the solution. So after formulating a goal and a problem to solve, the agent will call the search procedure. Okay. What is solution? We know that the solution is a possible sequence of action that will lead us to the goal. Okay. So suppose this is my initial state. After Arat have expanded CPU, so and then we expand CPU. So what you can see, we are making a tree that we have studied in unit data structure. You can have seen that we have now started creating a tree-like structure. So a tree representation of search problem is called as search tree. The root of the search tree is what? This is your initial state will be the root, right? And the end will be, or the leaf node that we will find is your goal state. Now, how are we able to find out the solution once we have found the search tree? Now, we will follow a different search strategies. Now, search strategies are nothing but algorithms, right? They are just algorithm. They are the methods and approaches used to explore and find relevant information or solution within the given search space. So, we have a search space, we will apply different algorithms to reach the goal. Now, when we are studying these algorithms, which algorithm we should use? So, these algorithms are defined and they have some efficiency criteria. So, we can define each algorithm that we are going to study will be considered on the basis of these two parameters. The first four parameters. The first parameter is your completeness. A search algorithm is said to be complete if it guarantees to return a solution if at least any solution exists. So, if I say my algorithm is complete, it means it guarantees you to find out the solution for me. So, it will give me solution, right? Optimal. So, if I can say my algorithm is optimal, then it guarantees me that it will give me the best solution. Okay, that is your optimality. Best solution means lowest path cost among all the solutions. That such a solution is said to be optimal solution. Time complexity, you have heard this before in your previous classes. Time complexity and space complexity. Time complexity is how much time my algorithm is taking to solve the problem, whereas the space complexity is how much storage space it is taking to solve the problem, right? Now, in your AI, we are depicting the space complexity in the method of three terms, that is B, D and M. B is the maximum branching factor. So, when we are creating trees, so how many branches this node is generating, right? So, that is your branching factor. Depth, how much depth we are going, right? Till how much depth we are going, that is your D, and M is the maximum depth of the tree. Right? M is your maximum depth of the tree. Now, what are the various types of search strategies? Now, basically, we have two types of search strategies, that is your uninformed search and your informed search. In your uninformed or blind search, we have algorithms like BFS, DFS. These algorithms are known to you. I have already studied this in your previous classes. Uniform cost search, depth limited search. There are many algorithms, right? Iterative deepening search, right? Bidirectional search. These all are your blind search. Whereas your informed search, we have your example as best first search, your A-star algorithm, very important. So, similarly, we have many more algorithms. We are going to study all these algorithms in this unit. Now, what are informed search? Informed search are also known as brute force search, blind search or exhaustive search. Now, in uninformed search, explore the search space without any domain information. about doesn't have any information of the domain. It doesn't know what the problem is. It does know that I have to explore the nodes in this manner. I will explore that node. It doesn't have any information of the problem, right? So here we proceed in a systematic way to explore the nodes in some predetermined order. So I have some predetermined order defined in according to my algorithm. So I will follow that path. I don't consider anything about the domain. I don't want to understand the problem, nothing, right? Uninformed search does not contain any domain knowledge such as closeness and location of the goal. It examines each node of the tree until it achieves the goal node. So it will examine each node, and according to what algorithm says, it will evaluate that node and then move on and choose the subsequent node. So we don't have any domain information, any problem information attached to your uninformed search. Now, informed search will use some domain specific information or heuristics to guide the search between. So here we have some knowledge of the problem. So that knowledge will help us to reach the solution. This knowledge helps the agent to explore less through the search space. Obviously, when we have, suppose this is your graph tree and I want to reach this node. So if I am using uninformed search, I will just try to explore this node also, this node also, this node also, this node also, then ultimately I can reach this if I follow BFS, right? But suppose I am using heuristic search and I am using heuristic function of this. So here I can find out now this is my lowest cost path, so I will choose this and I will choose. So here I am not exploring every node, I am just exploring the 2 nodes and I have reached the goal state. So this knowledge helps the agent to explore. So here I am searching less, so it is exploring less of this search space. The heuristic is a way which might not always be guaranteed for the best solution, but guaranteed to find a good solution. So remember, your uninformed search guarantees you to an optimal solution, but informed search doesn't guarantee you an optimal solution because it is not searching every node of the search space. It is not guaranteeing an optimal solution, but it is guaranteeing you a good solution. Okay. Now I want to tell you the difference between these two searches, uninformed search and informed search. Uninformed search will search without any prior information, whereas informed search will use some heuristic to guide the search. It is more time consuming because search space is more, so obviously it will be time consuming, and it will be find a solution quicker by prioritizing certain path. Complexity is high complexity due to lack of information. When your search space is more, so obviously my memory time and space, both complexity will be high, but here the complexity is reduced. Example, your DFS, BFS, example is your A star, these algorithms, and here we can explore the path blindly, here we explore the path strategically towards the goal. Also, here we can assure to get optimal solution, and here we are assured to get good solution in less time, right? Thank you.